and transmission repair, just 5 minutes from Dow Diamond on Poseyville Road.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 68 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is reversing course on some masking guidelines, suggesting even vaccinated people should return to wearing masks indoors in parts of the U.S. where the coronavirus is surging. Dr. Matthew Sims is head of the infectious disease research at Beaumont Hospital.
We really had belief in the data that said that this vaccine is working. We had evidence to say that people were protected. But not long after that, Delta came around, and Delta spreads even in people who are vaccinated, not as much.
Sims says vaccines are about 80% effective against the Delta variant, but about 95% effective in preventing serious illness and death. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has resumed wearing a mask at indoor events, citing a revised guidance from the CDC and a recommendation from the state's governor, who is vaccinated, says she does not anticipate reinstating a face covering requirement, though not in the near future and maybe not ever. The CDC Tuesday reversed course and recommended vaccinated people should return to being masked indoors. While COVID-19 cases have been rising in Michigan, the state's two-week rate is lower than in all but 3 states. The city of Saginaw is awarding community development block grants for nearly 30 projects and organizations. The grants, funded through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, total around $2.2 million. More than $1 million will be used to either rehabilitate homes or demolish blighted structures within the city. $300,000 will go to street improvements. Almost $120,000 is for community policing through the Saginaw Police Department, and $126,000 go to the Saginaw Economic Development Corporation to provide business loans to start up or expand businesses. The remainder of the funds will be divided Saginaw County Community Action Center, Women of Colors, the Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity, and more. WSGW News Time 9:07.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Hi, it's Mike from West Side Decorating Center. Not sure where to start on your next home decorating project? Let the professionals at West Side help you. We specialize in paint, flooring, and window treatments, and have 3 interior designers that are ready to assist with your next project. We are a 3rd-generation family-owned business celebrating Great Lakes Bay region. We can't wait to help you, so give us a call at 793-6182 or visit our showroom at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Governor Whitmer Tuesday proposed spending $100 million in federal COVID-19 rescue funds to expand access to affordable housing, which would go to the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. The authority provides financial and technical assistance to develop housing-related projects. The governor said the funding would leverage an additional $380 million in private spending. Whitmer says it has the potential to assist 2,000 rental units. That was her latest proposal to use a $6.5 billion in discretionary aid approved by Congress and President Joe Biden. Detroit's car makers start reporting their second quarter earnings today. What can we expect? Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilberts.
On one hand, the chip crisis is costing car makers billions, but on the other, the tight inventories mean they don't have to spend a lot on incentives, and customers are paying full freight. Auto Trader analyst Michelle Krebs says they're also buying vehicles with big profit margins.
We are seeing a continued shift to sport use, as well as pickup trucks. And those are the biggest revenue generators.
Krebs says going forward, there are indications buyers are starting to balk at the higher prices and are waiting for them to come down.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It is 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Partly sunny for today. Highs will top out near 83 degrees. Winds east-northeast around 5 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy. Chance for showers developing. Storms also possible after midnight. Lows drop to 67. Winds turn to the south-southwest around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, showers and storms likely. Otherwise, some sunshine is possible at times and highs head into the lower 80s. And then Thursday night, partly cloudy to mostly clear, and lows fall back to 59. This is meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Right now it's 71. Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. To around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning to you and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Got a busy morning. Coming up around 9:30, we're going to talk to Saginaw City Manager Tim Morales. Open phones after that and open phones during the next hour. So stick around. Something you want to talk about? My goodness, we'd be happy to chat with you. We got a few minutes now, too, to do that. If there's something on your mind you want to get on early. 752-6111, toll free inside the state of Michigan is 866-790 WSGW. Outside the state of Michigan, 989-752-6111. Before we get too far along here, I want to tell you about something that's happening in Saginaw. For those of you who have not yet been vaccinated, you can protect yourself, your family, and your loved ones. As part of the COVID-19 Vaccine Equity Initiative, the Saginaw County Health Department is partnering with the New Christ Community Church to offer free COVID-19 vaccines to people and communities who have been hardest hit by the pandemic. And not only can you get the jab, but there's free food, hot dogs, chips, and beverages. It is today. Again, it is today, so don't wait if you haven't gotten the vaccine yet. 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the New Christ Community Church, 3302 Grant Street in Saginaw. And here is what you need to know. Vaccines are available to everyone 18 years and older. You do not need an ID or insurance to get the vaccine. It is free to everyone. Again, you don't need an ID or insurance to get the vaccine. It is free to everyone. If someone ever wants to charge you for a vaccine, walk away, because the vaccine is free. So again, 12:30 to 3:30 today at New Christ Community Church, 3302 Grant Street in Saginaw. Get the jab, as they say, get the vaccine. couple of things to chat about this morning. I don't see how we cannot talk about Simone Biles, as she has been dubbed the GOAT, the greatest of all time. If you have been following the news at the Olympics, you know that she withdrew from the team competition, and now she has withdrawn from the overall competition, the individual overall. There are 4 other events. We don't know what she may or may not do in those other events, but she cited her mental health as being the reason. And, I began thinking about it, and this has become a forefront topic. We had the tennis star withdraw from the French Open. Michael Phelps has been warning about this for a long time, telling his own story about depression. And others. But Simone Biles has the focus of the world's attention on her. And she has said that she felt enormous pressure. And I can believe that. You cannot watch television, or in this case, listen to the radio, or go onto social media, or do anything without seeing Simone Biles. Now, in the case of the Olympic athletes, and I want to separate them from professional athletes for a moment, even though some of them are, like the spoiled sports, I think, that are playing men's basketball this year. Now, they don't like the coach's style because he's bringing his style of play to the game, and they don't like it. So it's the inmates running the asylum, But in the case of people like Simone Biles, who spent her entire life focusing on improving her skills and use those skills to win a whole bevy of gold medals, because of her prowess and to some degree because of her personality, she has become the darling of the media and the darling of the world. And we as a society tend to take folks like this and put them on very, very, very high pedestals. And then we sit there and wait for them to fall off. I don't know if it's a quirk in our nature that causes it, but it happens time and time again. Now, in the case of Simone Biles, she didn't fall off the pedestal. She walked off the pedestal on her own power to help her mental state. And she's gotten a lot of support. Mental illness in its various forms, and if we have to be honest, folks, we all suffer from it one way or another. For most people, it manifests itself in very, very mild ways, but still there. In others, it's far more serious. When you're an elite athlete in a sport like gymnastics, particularly gymnastics, if you're having mental issues and it interferes with your concentration, you could suffer some catastrophic injuries. So rather than lessen my opinion of Simone Biles, it has only improved my view of Simone Biles, that she can walk away from a major competition like the Olympics and put herself first in terms of her mental illness, depression, lack of concentration, She has said that she felt the pressure of the world on her shoulders, and I believe that. Now, I know there are going to be those who say, she just didn't think she could perform well, so she didn't want to be embarrassed. Nonsense. There are too many athletes coming out now and revealing the pressures. And, I have to tell you, in the case of a Simone Biles, we, the public, put the pressure on her. In the case of some professional athletes, they do it to themselves. But an athlete like Simone Biles, the world has put the pressure on her. Because she won 4 gold medals and she's been labeled the GOAT, greatest of all time, we expect perfection. But guess what? She's a human. I heard Michael Phelps interviewed about this. And he kept going back to that very thing because he has made known his bouts with depression and still suffers from it. Even though he's the most decorated Olympic athlete of all time, he went public with the problems he was having. And he kept coming back to one phrase. We're humans. Suffer the same foibles as any other human. Even more so when the world spotlight is on you, when your face is on the cover of every magazine and every newspaper, and you're talked about all the time, and you're followed with video cameras, and on and on and on. So what comes out of this? Well, I think what comes out of this, organizations like the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and professional sports organizations will now have to take a closer look at mental illness and the mental health of the participants in their activities. Some are well ahead of it because tragedies have occurred. And I can give you a prime example locally. The Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club, a number of years ago, had a young man named Terry who committed suicide. It opened up a conversation in the Ontario Hockey League, and the Canadian Hockey League for that matter, that led to educating each and every player, coach, employee of any team in the CHL, signs to look for if one of the players might be suffering from some type of mental disorder. It opened up a huge conversation and now a training regimen which has been shared with other sports. It took, unfortunately, a tragedy to bring it to the forefront. Let's hope that Simone Biles, not the product of a tragedy, but of her own recognition of her own needs, brings it further to the forefront so that there can be open discussion and so that we get rid of the stigma attached to mental health. I go back to what I said earlier. We all suffer from it in one way or another. If you wake up in the morning and you feel depressed, well, guess what? It's a mental condition, isn't it? Now, for most of us, occasionally we'll feel that way, but it doesn't impact our lives, but it's still there. We need to have a more open discussion about it in this country. And I think we're doing better. But are we at the point we need to be? Not so sure about that. Not so sure about that at all. All right, we're going to take a break. when we come back around the bottom of the hour, we're going to be chatting with Tim Morales, who is the Saginaw City Manager. We will do that after these notes here on the Art Lewis Show.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to others. I'm living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss. Appetite.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich helped the company to a stronger than expected spring quarter. It was also helped by the launch of its celebrity meal endorsed by K-pop superstars BTS. McDonald's global sales were up more than 40%, though that compares with a year ago when many of its locations were facing pandemic restrictions. Boeing also is reporting upbeat earnings and revenue. Pfizer is raising its forecast for the year, helped by sales of its COVID-19 vaccine. Shopify says people are still buying online. It topped $1 billion in sales for the first time in June. Citizens Financial is buying Investors Bancorp. The deal is valued at about $3.5 billion. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Summer's in full swing, and we have the coolest new shirts for the warm weather at Untuckit, including performance shirts that wick sweat, short sleeve styles to beat the heat, and our comfortable polos. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they're just the thing to look and feel cool in the summer heat. And Untuckit shirts are perfect as we transition back to the things that we've been missing, like dinner with friends, reuniting with family, and vacations too. When the heat is on, the #1 shirt to keep you cool is Untuckit. Use code COOL for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com or over 80 Untuckit stores.
Celebrate summer. The Midland Area Community Foundation is proud to present the Midland Area River Days Festival, August 5th through 7th in Midland. 3 days of fun, including kids' activities, balloon festival, music, fireworks, and more. See the complete schedule at riverdaysmidland.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
Stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Fly ball to right, high and deep and way back in car. Towering fly ball to right off the bat of Akil Baddoo. Man, is he locked in right now.
The Tigers play 12:50 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, back with you on the Art Lewis Show while we await the arrival of Tim Morales on the program. Scott is in Saginaw, so we'll chat with him this morning. Scott, good morning. Scott,
how you doing this morning, Art?
Good.
Hey, I was going to go to work today, but people depend on me to do stuff there. So I think I'm going to have an emotional breakdown and just stay home. And everybody else can pick up the slack and do what they need to do because I'm taking a Scott day. I think this is ridiculous. That girl was put in that position for the Olympics to do a job. And when it got hard, she said, I'm done. What message is that going to send? Well, 2 + 2 is, that's just too hard, teacher. I don't want to do math.
Oh, come on now. You just, you're bending that all out of shape. You're not, you don't want to go to work today. Do you have the world's weight on your shoulders?
I have the world of the weight on her shoulders either. This is something you train for, Art. We've never had this problem before, but now all of a sudden this new generation, hey, it's too hard. People ask me stuff to do things at work, and it's just ridiculous that they want me to pick something up from the floor and put it on the shelf. This is what we have. This is what this president is doing. It's nobody's fault. Quit. Don't do nothing. Government will take care of you. Don't learn math. Don't do nothing. We will take care of you. It's not a good message, Art.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
Take care. Bye-bye now. All right. We move over now to the city manager of the city of Saginaw, and we say good morning to Tim Morales. Tim, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Hey, we're doing well. Thanks for being with us today.
Sure.
I want to start out. I mean, we have all heard there's apparently a ton of money floating out there from the federal government to all kinds of geopolitical governmental organizations. How much of it is the city of Saginaw getting, and what are you doing with it?
Well, the most recent allocation is the ARPA funds, which is American Rescue Plan Act, and is receiving approximately $26 million a year for 2 years, so a total of about $52 million. And we haven't allocated any of those funds yet, but we are beginning our planning process on the allocation of those funds. We're having a strategic planning session that was postponed from January of 2021 this year, and we're having that on September 17th at the Temple Theater.
I assume, like most things from the government, it comes with restrictions. For example, my understanding is you can't use it on streets. Is that right?
A lot of restrictions with the funds. Primarily, if you read over the information, the rules that were initially issued, there are some primary areas that they list. Most of them due to COVID, loss of revenue for the city, hazard pay, nonprofits that lost revenue, water and wastewater projects. That doesn't necessarily have to be related to COVID, but there was a comment period for local units of government across the country to send U.S. Department of Treasury, and I know a lot of Michigan communities did that as well. That comment period ended mid this month, and we expect them to issue some amendments to those rules that could possibly allow some additional uses beyond what was outlined in the first set of rules from Treasury.
So if you could write the allocations right now, what do you see as the city's biggest needs?
That will really be up to the council goals and objectives. My view and idea about that is that they should really look at, and that will be part of the strategy session, what have been the goals and objectives that city council has identified and what is included in the city's master plan for the long-term plans of the city, and how can you align that spending with those goals and objectives. A very determined and thoughtful process to allocate
I don't think the city's ever seen an allocation like this before, and I don't think they'll ever see something like this again. One issue that I think is an allowable expense that we'll probably have to dig into a little bit more, but there are issues with healthcare and access to healthcare, and I think that's something that you could address with these funds potentially, and that does have, I think, a long-term effect on our city for years to come if we can improve that and improve the health outcomes.
Mm-hmm. All right, hang on, Tim. I got to take a quick break here, and then we will be back. We're talking to Tim Morales, the Saginaw City Manager, on the Art Lewis Show, sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty in Saginaw. You know, sellers are getting top dollar for their homes with the average of 1 day on the market. Linda Shepard sells faster. Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She doesn't waste any time. And Linda is easy to work with. No pressure tactics, several years of experience. Now, Linda's a full-time agent. She lives here. She sells here. And her agency, Pinnacle Realty, is not a franchise. That means the money stays right here in the community. And buyers, the interest rates are very, very low right now. Linda watches the market closely. Clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer, every time. Give her a call. Linda Shepard, 989-295-7713. 295-7713. Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. We'll be back with the Saginaw City Manager after these notes.
Why do I love to work at Alpha Media Center?
Fun work environment.
My work family. Endless opportunities. Because it doesn't feel like work.
Hi, I'm Carrie Gustafson, General Sales Manager at Alpha Media Saginaw.
We are expanding our marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We have an amazing staff and 5 awesome local radio stations. So if you want to get up every day loving what you do,
apply now at alphamediausa.com/careers. Alpha Media is an EEO employer.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply. 82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow all in one place. With NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating to NetSuite. Special financing is back. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to graduate.
Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home.
For all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you here on WSGW, talking to Tim Morales, the Saginaw City Manager. Tim, if I heard the news right about these allocations, one of the things that it could be used for is to supplement the police department. Is that correct?
That's not. I don't think that's been made clear in the rules. In the rules that we received from Treasury initially, that was not an allocation that could be used. In as much as the fund to add officers or something like that. So you can use it for if you have revenue replacement that is lost revenue from COVID, you can show in your general fund, then that could be used for officers, but that's kind of a one-term deal as well. Anytime we have a single allocation like that, I think one thing you want to look at is how long can you fund something like that, because after 3 years or 2024, this funding is gone.
Yeah. What impact did COVID have on the city's budget?
We're really still reviewing that, and there is a worksheet that you do to determine the impact that it has on particularly general fund. At this point, I think the last calculation I saw for the period of they allow you to go forward for a few years, it looks like it's in the range of 6 to 8 million, something like that.
Per year or total?
Total. Yeah.
So you're going to have a pot of money that can be allocated for whatever Treasury allows you to allocate it for. How long do you think that process is going to take?
Well, it all depends on what council identifies that they want to fund. So for goals and objectives, how does it fit in and what do they want to fund with it? So we have everything has to be committed. I think by 2024, we have a little bit longer to the funds. I believe it's another year. I think it will take a lot of that time, a lot of that total time of the next 3 years to actually utilize the funding. But it does depend. If there is an allocation that council identifies if they want to improve the water and wastewater infrastructure, this is a potential opportunity to do that without having any additional capital debt, which that has an impact on increasing water and wastewater fees. You could potentially do some projects with that would not necessitate that increase in fees that would benefit all of the customers too. So it depends, and a project like that could take up a substantial part of that. As you know from our previous discussions and presentations, the water and sewer infrastructure projects can have significant cost attached to them.
Do you get the funds and then you get to, invest them while you decide what to do with them, or do you get them after you allocate them?
There are two tranches. One was this year, and we received that in late June, $26 million. The next one is about a year after that. You hold the funds, and you are allowed under the rules to invest them, and you can add any interest income can be added to that total, but local units of government have to invest very conservatively by rules. So, as you know, conservative levels of investment don't generate a lot of income at this point, even with a substantial level with that. But that is what we'll do with those funds. At least some interest-bearing account that will be added back into the total.
All right, let's move away from these allocated funds for a couple of moments. Let's assume that money doesn't exist. What kind of shape is the city in?
We're still in good shape. we're grateful that they would make up any lost revenue. I think with the way that the city's workforce is, primarily our largest workforce within the city is healthcare, obviously, with the 3 hospitals. So they didn't have or layoffs as a lot of other industries, and that helped to stabilize our income tax. We still do have that loss I mentioned, and that's going by the guidelines that they provided us. We'll still look at it, and it could have, people working from home could have an impact on that as well that maybe isn't built into that formula I mentioned earlier. So we'll continue to watch that over the next few years. But our biggest concern is still legacy costs, pension costs, and other post-employment benefits such as retiree health care. So that's where we have to look to fund those as best that we can, and we're looking at some ways that maybe we can stabilize those pension payments and keep them more level so that it doesn't have a great of impact on a single year as we continue to see those rise. And that's not unique for the city of Saginaw. That's local units of government across the country, but we have to find a way to address that. And at least we know they're going to go up, but even if they go up, how do we keep that more level so that it doesn't deficit in our general fund?
I know some of it is negotiated, but has there been a change in the structure? By that I mean new employees coming into the city. Do they go under the legacy pensions, or do they move now to a 401k type situation?
They work into it's called a hybrid plan. So it's part pension and part defined contribution, but the pension part is limited certain way so that we don't have those long-term legacy costs that are continually rising. So that is the current employees. Employees from, I think, somewhere around 2001 or 2 through 2018 or so, when the hybrid went in, are in a defined contribution plan only, which is the 401k type plan. So the city did away with those legacy pension costs in the early 2000s, and the retiree health care plan was eliminated in 2009. Following that, our employees that are hired after that have a healthcare savings account where the city allocates funds for them to pay for their own healthcare, and that allows us to know exactly what we're going to pay.
Hang on, I got to take one more break, Tim, and we'll be back to finish up. We're talking to Tim Morales. He is the City of Saginaw City Manager, and we will be back with Tim in just a couple of moments. Let me talk to you about Thalen Honda, because as you probably know, if you've watched the news at all, or you've driven around and look at dealers' lots, a semiconductor microchip shortage has affected auto manufacturers across the nation, for that matter, across the world. And new vehicles are in short supply for nearly all makes and models. But our friends at Thalen Honda have a limited supply of new vehicles ready for delivery with 0% financing on select 2021 models. Like I'm driving a Civic Sport this month. And terms and conditions do apply. But in addition, the 2021 Honda CR-V, Passport, and Odyssey were named Best Car for the Money by U.S. News and World Report. And 6 2021 Honda models received the IIHS Top Safety Rating. Thalen Honda has new and used vehicles in stock and ready for sale, with new vehicles arriving every week. Stop into Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Look over their inventory or go online to thinkthalen.com. Test drive the vehicle of your choice and then sit down with a Thalen Honda representative to see how easy it is to make it yours. The Thalen family in their third generation of ownership, serving your automotive needs for 44 years. We'll be back with Tim Morales after these notes.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Polecat Golf Course. You are going to get golf for two with a cart for only $78. It's usually $156. You are getting it half off. The championship style located in the heart of Michigan and is played over and around the scenic 100-foot wide Chippewa River. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
What's better than being outdoors and enjoying a summer day in Michigan? How about golfing at the Saginaw Country Club? You can do that at the Saginaw Promise Swinging for the Promise golf event on Thursday, August 19th. 18 holes of golf with a cart, grilled lunch at the turn, delicious dinner, trophies, prizes, and a lot of fun. Register online, SaginawPromise.org. Call 989-755-0545. Sponsorships available. Saginaw Promise, making a difference. Education and scholarships.
Do you know what interest rates you're paying on your credit cards? If you knew, you'd probably be shocked. Many Americans are paying ridiculous amounts of money in interest alone. Money you could keep. How? With a special low-interest credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. Now with a special radio listener discount available only at lightstream.com/news. You can pay off all your high-interest credit card debt with monthly payments at rates as low as 5.83% APR with autopay and excellent credit. But this discounted rate is only available for radio listeners at this exclusive URL, lightstream.com/news. That's right. To get rates as low as 5.83% APR with autopay and excellent credit, you must go to Lightstream. The only way to get this reduced rate is to go to lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/NEWS. Lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval rates with this discount range from 5.83% APR to 19.99% APR. It includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/news for more information.
All right, we're back with you, chatting with Tim Morales, Saginaw City Manager. Tim, you mentioned something, and it triggered a thought in my mind. The city income tax structure is such that if I live outside the city, but I work in the city, I pay an income tax to the city for the job. How has working from home impacted that? Does it have impact on that? Or is it where the employer is located that's the deciding factor?
It's where the person works. So if there are more people working from home, then that would decrease your income tax revenue. If they typically work in the city in an office, then they would, for the time that they work outside of the city, do not pay income tax for that time. It's only for your time worked while in the city. And that's true for any local unit in Michigan that has an income tax. We did some estimates, and we're seeing a little bit less of an impact than we thought there would be, but we'll have to watch that long term, because I think a lot of people have realized that they can be as productive if they're working at home. So companies may have some more allowances that allow people to work from home or at different locations that could, and we would see part of that this year from depending on what people did in 2020, but we would continue to see that in 2021, and if they made it permanent, then we would continue to see that in the future. So we'll continue to watch that.
I want to ask something. This is very theoretical, and if you're not comfortable answering it, I understand that. The city operates under a tax cap, probably the only one in America like it. Is there any thought, has there been any thought of going back to the people?
Have continually, I think, had those discussions, and there have been several council members in the past who have talked about it, and members who are on council now that have talked about it. We haven't had that discussion recently, but there is potential there for council to do that if they'd wish, and in our role, if they decide to do that, would be to provide them information, provide the public information about how that would impact people.
It's been a long time. It's been since the 70s that the city has lived under this. It would be certainly would be. I don't know if it would be a boon to the city, but it would certainly probably stabilize things, put you in a better position, wouldn't it?
Long term, you're correct. I think in that there are some not, it's not something that has an immediate impact because there are other tax laws. There's Proposal A and Headley and different things like that that impact on how much taxes can be increased. So it does help long term as property values increase. That increases the revenue. Essentially, with the tax cap, it put that freeze there in the late 70s, and that's the revenue that they were getting from taxes in Saginaw at that time, the $3.8 million, and that's, you cannot collect any more than that. And I think you're right, Art, this is probably the only city in the country that has that kind of hard dollar cap and cap on the mills as well. I think that combination throughout that past 40 years, that you probably would have had more than $3.8 million, even if you had the millage cap. But with both of them on there, you have a stranglehold on what the city can do. And that's why, going back to that income tax, that's very important for the city, because our general fund, which operates on state shared revenue, income tax, and property tax, and is about $35 million a year, those are the three main sources for that funding, and that's what pays for our police department, our fire department, our parks, a good portion of our cemeteries, and that's one reason why we've seen that reduction in services since that time as well. I know a lot of people will recall parks and recreation programs from when they were younger. More people working in the cemeteries to take care of those grounds, far more firefighters, and the city has decreased in population in that time as well. But the primary impact, I think, has been that tax cap.
I want to finish up with this. You mentioned decrease in population. Have you had any preliminary census figures yet? Has the city fallen below that 50,000 level?
I think what preliminary numbers look like is that it probably will fall below that 50,000 level. Don't know if I've received any definitive count, but I think even the census estimates that were coming out over the past few years had us more towards the upper 40s. So I think that's probably a distinct possibility as a result of the census.
Yeah, which will also have impact on you, won't it?
Impact on entitlement communities for CDBG. Yeah. There are exceptions that you can get. Hopefully, with our low to moderate income census tracts, we could be eligible
Tim,
for those.
I got to interrupt because I'm out of time. But thank you much for spending the time with us this morning. We'll do it again.
Thank you, Art.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. City Manager Tim Morales will be back to close out after these notes.
4 left! 4 right!
Perfect. Hey, golfers, this is Dan Pohl, and I know your golf games aren't always perfect, and that's okay. But if you want the perfect golf experience, then come see us here at the Polecat. Don't wait. Go to polecat.net or give the Pro Shop a call. Remember, if your golf games can't be perfect, your experience can. Perfect.
Rocket Grab Plus. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here to give you the killer deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Joyce's Purple Palette, Kitchen Kings, JB's Market, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, Beer Garden, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, buddy. That's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Guys,
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? /free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Feel like summer's flying by, but you still want to find some great family fun? The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission and WSGW remind you there's still tons of fun as part of Saginaw Celebrate Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. Concerts, movies, art, nature activities, and more throughout Saginaw and the riverfront area, with many of the events happening for free. Saginaw Celebrate Summer immerses you in the vibrancy of the community while enjoying entertaining cultural and educational activities. Saginaw Celebrate Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Arts Saginaw. Plus, daily updates here on WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. News is next. We'll be back with open phones in the next hour. Talk to you then.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We have breaking news from the UK regarding pandemic travel. CBS's Vicky Barker is in London. Fully vaccinated Americans without going into quarantine. It's not yet clear when the new rule takes effect, and it won't work the other way around. At the moment, Brits are banned from entering the U.S. unless they're accompanying an American family member on essential business. Medical experts are applauding the CDC's recommendation that Americans mask up again indoors in COVID hotspots, whether they're vaccinated or not. Others won't have it. Correspondent Cammie McCormick. The reaction is mixed. In South Florida, where cases are on the rise, Dr. Salmer Fahmy.
While masking is not perfect, it is an effective way to bend that curve.
Anti-mask protesters outside the Broward School District were angry. In Birmingham, Alabama, Dr. Michael Sagg says he's disappointed but not surprised with the rising number of cases there.
It could exceed our worst number of cases that we saw back in January.
Pfizer's just released new data showing a third booster shot offers strong protection against the Delta variant. COVID cases are climbing in the Olympics host city. Daily infections there have reached a new high. CBS's Lucy Kraft from Tokyo.
While most of Japan's senior citizens are fully vaccinated, only about a quarter of the general population has received 2 doses. A state of emergency declared for to neighboring areas.
American gymnast Simone Biles has withdrawn from a second event at the Summer Games.
It's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are.
She'll skip tomorrow's all-around final. Just in from Wisconsin, an appeals court has rejected a bid for a new trial for making a murderer subject Stephen Avery in the death of photographer Teresa Hallback. Opponents of new voting restrictions are beginning 27-mile protest march from Georgetown in central Texas to the state capitol in Austin. Is with the Rainbow Push Coalition.
Part of our challenge is to make sure that we raise the voices of the uninsured, the unemployed, the homeless, LGBTQ, immigrants, Native Americans.
Texas House Democrats still in Washington trying to derail Republican efforts to tighten voting rules. Everyone's favorite aardvark is heading into retirement.
Every day when you're walking down the street.
PBS confirms Arthur will end after the upcoming 25th season. This is CBS News.
With Indeed Instant Match, just sponsor a post and immediately receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match at Indeed.com/credit.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are hidden fees and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
Attorney Joe Cordell. For many men, divorce brings a bewildering sense of loss.
isolated, like you're the only person in the world. But the good news is you're not alone. Cordell & Cordell is here to help. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has been there to guide men through all aspects of divorce, and we'll be there for you.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Hi, it's Mike from West Side Decorating Center. Not sure where to start on your next home decorating project? Let the professionals at West Side help you. We specialize in paint, flooring, and window treatments, and have 3 interior designers that are ready to assist with your next project. We are a owned business celebrating 55 years serving the Great Lakes Bay region. We can't wait to help you, so give us a call at 793-6182 or visit our showroom at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
The professional parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Coverall Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 70 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Butcher. A Flint Township teen girl has been reported missing and is considered endangered. Police say 17-year-old Tunisia Mina Johns was last seen at the Clover Tree Apartments on Court Street between I-75 and Ballinger Highway yesterday afternoon. She's believed to have left on foot from the apartments. She was with wording, dark blue leggings, black Crocs shoes, and a black bonnet. Johns is described as black with brown eyes and black hair. She's 5'3" and weighs about 110 pounds. Anyone with information about her whereabouts is asked to call 911 or the Flint Township Police Department at 810-600-3250. If you or your family are living near or visiting Michigan waters in the summer or fall, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, it's important to be aware of potential for harmful algal blooms. Here's WSGW's Ann Williams.
Known as HABs, the harmful algal blooms, rapid overgrowth or bloom of cyanobacteria, also known as blue-green algae. Cyanobacteria are naturally present in lakes, rivers, and ponds, but some produce toxins that can be present in HABs, which at higher levels can be harmful to people and animals. HABs usually occur in Michigan May through October, most commonly in August and September. HABs can look like algal scums or mats, spilled paint or pea soup, or colored streaks on the water's surface. If you suspect you've found an HAB or have any suspicion, do not let people, pets, or livestock in the water or near the shore. You can still use any part of the lake that's not affected. Always rinse off people and pets after contact with any lake water. Ann Williams, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82%. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Another Detroit elected official could be in trouble with the law. An attorney for Andre Spivey tells the Detroit Free Press the 3-term city councilman expects to be indicted for bribery as early as Tuesday afternoon. Elliot Hall says Spivey allegedly took $1,000 from an undercover agent about 3 years ago, but did the money and that he's been cooperating with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Hall says it has nothing to do with Spivey's vote or actions as a public official. Former city council member Gabe Leland was sentenced in county circuit court in June to 2.5 years of probation after pleading guilty to accepting an illegal cash campaign contribution. Mask up, even if you are vaccinated, which are the new recommendations from the CDC for people in areas where cases of COVID-19 are surging. Health reporter Dr. Deanna Light says this.
Cases of COVID-19 remain low in Michigan. Dr. Anthony Owens, an infectious disease expert with McLaren Macomb Hospital.
We need to control this pandemic. Masks will help in the hot spots, but I think in all the other places where the disease is flaring or where it's not flaring, please go out and get your vaccine. There really is no excuse.
Dr. Owens says even mild cases of COVID-19 can lead to long-term health problems like fatigue, body aches, and shortness of breath.
There's so many reasons to be vaccinated and so many non-reasons not to.
Dr. Deanna Lights, the Michigan News Network.
Are you ready for whistling fireballs? The meteor shower Alpha Capricornids is peeking over Michigan skies tonight into Thursday. Experts say the meteors appear bigger and brighter than other showers and sometimes whistle when whizzing by. It should be visible across all of lower Michigan. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the northeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy sky conditions with a low near 67. Thursday, a chance for showers and storms, cloudy high of 82 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly sunny skies with a high around 73. Friday, a chance for some rain showers, a blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high around 79 degrees. And then by Sunday, mostly sunny, high of 73. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 74.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. And it is an open line hour, whatever you'd like to chat about. 752-6111 in Saginaw and Bay City. Outside of that area, 866-790-WSGW for in-state Michigan. Out of state, call 989-752-6111. Before we get into some other topics, just another reminder about the free COVID vaccines. Protect yourself, your family, and your loved ones as part of the COVID-19 Vaccine Equity Initiative. The Saginaw County Health Department is partnering with the New Christ Community Church to offer free COVID-19 vaccines to people and communities who have been hardest hit by the pandemic. Not only do you get a free vaccine, but you get hot dogs, chips, and beverages too. It is today. So if you've not been vaccinated, here is your opportunity. 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. at New Christ Community Church, 3302 Grant Street in Saginaw. Here's what you need to know about this. The vaccines are available to everyone 18 years and older. You do not need an ID or insurance card to get the vaccine. I repeat, you do not need an ID or insurance card to get a vaccine. The vaccine is free to everyone. So hop on over 12:30 to 3:30 today, New Christ Community Church, 3302 Grant Street in Saginaw, and get your vaccine. All right, a number of topics I want to chat about this hour. One of them, I don't know if you caught this, but I really don't understand this at all. Governor Whitmer has vetoed $155 million in education funding for struggling readers. Now, that on the surface, you may say, well, maybe she had her reasons, what have you. Problem is, this was a bipartisan bill that came out of the legislature. Democrats and Republicans. And this money was to be used to provide remedial education to catch them up for those that lost ground during the pandemic. And I mean, she's pushed education and education. They increased education funding. She was very proud of that. Why in the world does she veto a bipartisan bill? Now, I don't know how many votes there were for the package, so I don't know if it was veto proof. But hopefully, the legislature will look at it again, and who knows, maybe they'll override the veto. All right, to our phones. Max is in Shepherd this morning. Max, good morning to you.
We'll say it's Mark today.
Oh, Mark, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. My fault.
Worries. No worries. Hey, two topics for you. I was watching TikTok. I don't know if you view that or not, but they do live streams. Live streams, so I don't know how fake it is. But I watched a shipyard worker the other day, and I believe it was Boston, and he was showing in his shipyard as high as the eye could see and as far as he could walk, just wood. Just you know how they go on freight trains? It's just all shit sitting in the shipyards, and he's like, I've never seen this before. Don't understand why all this wood is sitting here. But with lumber prices spiking, how do I square that up? How would you square that up?
I would square that up, and I'm guessing now, all right? But if I were a shipyard that used lumber and I got an opportunity to buy it at a reasonable price, I'd buy as much as I could, particularly knowing the market is volatile. So it may be that they're storing it up for use so they don't get hit by the higher prices now. That's a possibility. That's just a guess.
No, it's not going out on the trains. It's just sitting there. It's not being shipped out to the United States. It was one of the ports that the lumber comes in on. So I don't know.
Oh, so you're saying that the lumber comes into the country, but it's not being distributed.
Correct. It's just.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Hey, my next thing is you traveled one or two places in your lifetime, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're part of a travel thing. So I'm looking to maybe do a vacation for myself. Now, I'm looking to get a vacation that you have taken maybe in your younger days, maybe not so much in the latter part, but do you have any suggestions where, man, this is the best place, and if I could recommend it?
Well, you know, here's the thing, Mark, and, you know, I was in the tour business for 14 years, and before I'd recommend any place to you, I want to know what your interests are. I could recommend some place, and you may hate it. I may love it. So what are your interests? What are you looking to do? I mean, you know, if you asked me the best place I've ever been, I would tell you Switzerland. And it was fabulous. It was wonderful. You may hate it. You may not like it at all. So it just depends on your likes and dislikes. Are you active, or do you want to?
Maybe one or two sites. When I go on a vacation, I do one or two sightseeing. Usually the typical horseback riding and maybe a water tour or something. So I'm looking for something like that. If you can recommend, hey, I've done that. That was pretty cool.
Well, I haven't done them all together. I did a horseback trip up into the Wyoming Rockies when I was a lot younger, and that was phenomenal. You go up into the Rockies on a horse. Everything is packed in. You cook out. You stay in tents. It was a great trip. It really was. If you like action.
Oh, so the whole vacation.
Whole vacation was horse packing, and it was 6 days. I want to say in western Wyoming. And if you look up pack trips, you know, I mean, it was absolutely one of the best things I ever did. But I was a lot younger. I wouldn't do it now, but it was great then. If you like
I do
horses,
like all-inclusives.
well,
I like the all-inclusive resorts as well.
there's a million of them. I mean, that becomes a question of where do you want to go? If you want to go, and also, what type of crowd are you looking for? It's the difference between sailing on Carnival and sailing on Canard. On Carnival, you're going to find a young, hip, dancing crowd that loves all kinds of activities, and on Canard, you're going to find seniors who want a quiet, beautiful cruise. So, what do you like? And resorts are just like that. Some resorts are tailored more to the younger crowd; other resorts are not. So, what I would suggest let me suggest what you
Apple
do.
Vacation is where I usually do the Apple Vacations, and I have pretty good luck with Apple's vacations.
If you do that, keep doing it.
Different.
Yeah, I would tell you what I would do. I would find a travel agent and sit down with them because they've got, tons and tons of material resource, and tell them what you're interested in and tell them what you've done and what you want to do. And I bet you they come up with a whole passel of ideas for you. All right. Good luck with it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Hang on, Tony. We'll get to you after a break here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. And also at the end of the break, we will hear from Terry Henney, who's previewing the Munger Potato Festival. All of that is ahead. Let me see if I can give away some money, though. It's time to play the WSGW Summer Cash Contest. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is DISC, D-I-S-K, D-I-S-K, DISC. Nationwide contest, one winner chosen each day, must be 21 or older to play. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Summer Cash Contest on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. We'll be back after these notes.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with RoofMax. Science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a really big tree near your garage. Now, I'm a really big tree on your garage and car. And if you don't have the right insurance, the cost to fix this could leave you wishing money grew on trees. So bundle your home and auto with Allstate to save up to 25% and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Auto prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. inflation is the highest in 13 years as prices just surged 5% in May alone. Higher prices for food, fuel, housing. Inflation isn't just coming, it's here. This is Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. If you haven't diversified into precious metals, you're leaving your savings exposed. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA. With gold and silver. Through a little-known tax loophole, you can convert your retirement savings tied to the stock market into an IRA backed by precious metals. It's your hedge against inflation. You can even buy physical gold delivered to your door. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and countless five-star reviews, Birch Gold can help you protect your savings against inflation. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit today.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher, helped by some upbeat earnings news.
which is in the Dow Jones Industrials. The Fed reveals its update on the economy and its plan for the future later today. Alphabet, parent of Google and Microsoft, reported sharply higher profits. Apple's quarter rose to a record, but now it's warning the semiconductor shortage could impact iPhone production later this year. McDonald's sales this spring were even stronger than before the pandemic as dining rooms reopened and diners tried new crispy chicken sandwiches and a meal endorsed by K-pop group BTS. Facebook, Qualcomm, PayPal, and Ford report earnings after the Wall Street closed today. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
This Foundation is honoring heroes with 200 mortgage-free homes. A never-forget walk, more than 500 miles through 6 states in 42 days, culminating at Ground Zero on 9/11. Tower of Light tributes, names of those lost to 9/11 illness, are being read on September 12th, and names of all lost in the War on Terror are being read on Veterans Day. Donate $11 a month at t2t.org.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
From beautiful downtown Munger. It's been a while since 2019, but we're back, and the Munger Potato Festival is back. To the 66th annual Munger Potato Festival kicks off tomorrow night with the Queen contest and demo derbies as usual, and goes all the way through Sunday. We are broadcasting today from one of the major supporters of the Munger Potato Festival, and have been for several years, Everbest Organics. And once we roll into our farm program today, we're going to have a chance to talk to a few of the folks involved with Everbest Organics and kind of give you an idea of the services that they provide. They are one of the major providers of finished organic product that goes to some of the major restaurant chains here in the United States. So they put growers, technology, and buyers all together to sell product that's grown and raised and processed right here in Michigan. Again, Munger Potato Festival kicks off tomorrow evening through Sunday. More details as we go through.
Thanks, Terry. And we'll hear from Terry again out in Munger. Back to our phones. Tony is in Midland. Tony, good morning to you.
Thanks, Art. Good morning to you.
Morning.
I think, when you talk about you can call them anti-vaxxers or whatever, but people who pay attention basically have very good reasons for distrust. And when we're talking distrust, I mean, we can go back a long, long history. No sense to do that. But if you just take a recent history, you have distrust for the FBI because of James Comey, the way he handled Hillary Clinton during the election of 2016. We won't even go into that. That's a long laundry list. You have 5 years of Trump's spin with the president on the front page of virtually every newspaper in the country daily. Now you can't hardly find an article about the president. You have Kamala Harris, who attacked the president strongly on his southern border policies. Now all of a sudden she's going from these people who made this long, dangerous trek to be free and how brave they were, and now she's saying, don't come, it's just too dangerous. And you come down into COVID where they say 4 weeks to lower the curve here, and we're told through science that it has a 99.4% survival rate. And yes, we know people who've been hospitalized, and yes, we know people who lost their life from COVID. But those who pay attention know that we've had people hospitalized and lost their life from influenza forever.
Well, I got news for you. Tony. There's a lot of people that pay attention that believe in the vaccine, and none of the things you pointed out have anything to do with the efficacy of the vaccine. Not one of them. And also remember this. The vaccine was developed under Donald Trump. Not Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris.
This is not about presidency. This is
Well,
about
you brought it up.
Okay, well, I brought it up because our government and different agencies seem to feed us a lot of disinformation, and it trickles down into people and everything, and that includes the vaccination. Now, keep in mind, this is still not completely FDA approved. It's still only approved for emergency use.
Yeah, I understand that.
Keep in mind,
so if it changes, if tomorrow it gets...
Keep this in mind.
Go ahead.
Well, keep this in mind. They're not being honest. They're not.
How do you know that?
They're holding back. They're holding back the news on their side effects.
How do you know that?
They're not being straight up with the American.
How do you know that?
They're not being.
How do you know that?
Because it should be on the front page of the paper, and it's not.
All right.
That's how I know that. I know that because we know people who have had side effects. I know that because when we had a mother who brought a young daughter out who decided to get the vaccination and it turned her into nearly a vegetable, that Twitter, Facebook, and all the main people that get the news out there in this modern world squashed the story. And we've seen it.
Every drug has side effects. Every drug.
When we're told we got a 99.0 chance of not dying.
All right, I got you.
And we decide to take the chance on getting the vaccine and having the antibodies or taking a shot that we know nothing about.
I would suggest to you, don't get the shot then.
Trusting.
Why?
I'm asking you, how do you blame us for not trusting when they're not honest and they're not giving us the full story? How do you blame us for not trusting? How do you blame us for not trusting when we're told that we have a 99.0?
Yeah, I got you. You said that already. I look at risk reward. I look at risk reward. All right. I look at risk reward, and to me, the risk is greater than the reward, or the reward is greater than the risk, and that's how I judge things.
Okay, well, let me tell you. Let me say one more thing, and I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. The risk for liberty is greater than the reward of liberty is greater than the risk of not liberty, and we're edging into the area where we're going to be strong-armed by the government to take this vaccination. Now, keep in mind, we still are not clear on the origin of this. We are still not clear on why it was introduced to
I understand all of that.
No, are we clear or are we not? Are we clear or
So let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you this. If the CDC tomorrow takes it off the emergency use list and makes it regular use, will that satisfy you?
Well, here's the thing.
Will that satisfy you? Answer the question.
That would help, but the CDC and the WHO have been in.
I got you.
Go back and you listen to the people.
I understand. You don't believe anybody.
The news articles, they're all over the chart.
All right. They don't. Tony, I got you. You don't believe anybody in government. I understand that, and they've probably earned that reputation. Well, what you.
That we need to be educated, and we need to take personal responsibility for ourselves.
All right.
And decide whether or not we want the shot.
All right, we got you.
That's what
we appreciate it. All right.
And I have people. I run a business.
All right.
I
got you, Tony. You're emotional about it. That's fine. Don't get the shot if you don't want the shot, but don't tell me I can't get it.
I hope that's the case. I hope that we're not punished by society. Told that we can't go to Arby's.
All right, I got you. I've got you. I got you. We thank you for calling. We appreciate it. And there are good points there. I know, because government's earned our distrust. No doubt about that. Let's move over to Paul in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. I'm going to change the subject a little bit. On the point you made earlier about the governor's veto, I believe there was a newspaper article about that, and I think the governor vetoed that because the teachers already programs in place to deal with struggling readers. Why she vetoed about the amount, I don't know. It wasn't clear, but I think that had something to do with her veto. But I got a second point I want to talk about. I was watching Skubik's Friday night PBS show, and he had a panel of recently retired TV reporters and newspaper journalists. And one of them worked for both the Detroit News and the Associated Press. And that person complained about not being able to contact anybody recently at the news departments at both the Bay City Times and the Saginaw News on some news stories. So my question is, what does that say about the newspaper business today?
Well, it's different. It's a lot different than it used to be because the Bay City and Saginaw news departments answer to Grand Rapids now because that's where the company is. And they don't have big staffs around here. So it's it's a changing times. Let's face it. We used to have a Saginaw News that was 7 days a week. It was local. It was in a big building downtown, and we don't have that anymore. It's different,
Right.
and that has to do with the economics of the press, the finances of the newspaper business. They found themselves in a negative position, so they had to do what they had to do. And we have, I think, Midland Daily News is the only one that's 7 days now around here.
Yeah, that's
So
not
it's
part
not
of the same.
No, it's not. It's not part of the same. It's not part of MLive.
Right.
But that's the nature of the beast. I mean, it's all about business. We used to do guest lectures when Senator John Siskey was a professor at Saginaw Valley State University. He taught criminal justice classes. And Paul Chafee, who was the then editor and publisher of the Saginaw News, and I would do a guest lecture series. And I started each lecture by going into the classroom before all the class got there and writing on the blackboard one word. And then I would pull a screen down over the word so they couldn't see it. And then I would go around the classroom and I would ask each student, what was the media to them in one word and one word only? And because they automatically think the media is news because Paul and I are there, you could guess the answers: distrust, liars, and there were good words too, information and all of that. But no one in all the years I did that ever got my word. And when I lifted the screen and they saw my word, it started a whole new conversation, because under that screen was my word: business. First and foremost, the media in all of its forms is a business. Without an audience, without readership, without viewership, it's nothing. It has to sell a product in order to pay for that journalism. And that's what happened in the newspaper business. The economics caught up with them. So it's not unusual.
I'll give you another word that should have been in there. Today, that word should say access. There's no access today like there was.
Yeah, but remember
previously.
this. Remember this. That's a privilege, not a right. The free press is guaranteed, but you're not guaranteed to have a press to look at. You're not guaranteed to have access, for example, to this radio show. That's a privilege we afford you. In the same way your driver's license is a privilege, not a right. People don't realize that. They think they have a right to drive. It's a privilege. The state grants you the privilege of driving. So there's a big difference. Access is wonderful, but somebody has to pay for it. All right, Paul, I'm late for a break here. I got to go. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye now.
Okay.
And we will be back with more. We'll get to Jeff in Bay City after these notes.
I learned long ago, if you've got the right tools and a little know-how, you can do it yourself. And no wall of mine's going to get some dime a dozen paint. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Premium performance from its smooth application to that tough, washable one-coat finish. It exceeds expectations of what makes great paint. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Available exclusively at Menards.
For almost 20 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they all and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
SUV gets lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
All roads lead to the 66th Annual Munger Potato Festival, July 29th through August 1st. Enjoy carnival rides, food tent, games, famous potato bratwurst, and of course, plenty of free potatoes and great music. On Thursday, the festival queen will be chosen at 7, and it's the rear-wheel drive figure 8 and front-wheel demo derby. Gates open at 5, racing starts at 7:30. In the entertainment tent, it's Todd and Pete Unplugged, followed by the Family Tradition Band with free admittance to the entertainment tent with Derby Pass. Friday is Rebel Line, followed by the Sinclairs, plus the rear-wheel drive demo derby. Saturday is Kids Day with the 5K Spud Run sponsored by the Frankenmuth Credit Union. Magician Cameron Zavara at noon, bicycle drawing and more. Music in the entertainment tent features Wiener Schnitzel, Grind, and Steve Armstrong and the 25-cent beer band. Saturday also features the Power Wheel Figure 8, rear-wheel drive Figure 8, front-wheel drive Team Derby, and the rear-wheel drive Turn Back the Time class Figure 8. New this year, a cornhole tournament Saturday at 2. It's the granddaddy of them all, the Munger Potato Festival. Details at mungerpotatofest.com.
Hi, Tom Bodette from Motel 6, leaving the light on for the three-dimensional soccer fan. Those cardboard cutouts flat. They didn't even yell goal for as long as possible when we finally scored. But while the cardboard you is packed away, the real you can head to the next road game. Motel 6 will help you get back into the action with clean, comfortable rooms at a great low rate. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Fly ball to right, high and deep and way back and gone. Towering fly ball to right off the bat of Akil Baddoo. Man, is he locked in right now.
The Tigers play 12:50 today on 790 News Radio WSGW. From the Stones, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and Jeff is in Bay City. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Art. A beautiful day we have out here in Michigan today. So you had a gentleman talking earlier about the masks and stuff. When they said put a T-shirt up and put it over, qualify as being a mask. How come nobody's done any scientific proof to show that a T-shirt would actually qualify to protect you from anything? There should be some greater questions being asked on the scientific level, because it wouldn't take much to take a T-shirt, wrap a small cage with a rat in it, and blow whatever into it, and see if it affected it or not.
Well, there have been some issues and reports on that very thing. Not calling it a T-shirt, but the cloth, and they have said that the cloth does not do the same protective job in single layer that a triple layer mask or an N95 mask does. That's already been done.
And then with the scientific proof with masking kids for hours at a time with respiratory issues that have started popping up that were never there before, all because of we inhaling the toxins that our body's supposed to naturally blow out with our breathing method. There's a lot to be said.
Well, there's a lot to be studied.
For sure, before you start pushing something. And as you mentioned to the guy, what if they said that it wasn't experimental drugs no more tomorrow, which would be something. But today, they're pushing, but it is experimental today, but they're pushing it today. You used to get paid to go and be a guinea pig for a science program. Hey, we're going to give this. Some people are going to get it. Some people won't. We'll pay you whatever dollar figure, and you'll be part of our study. But now they're pushing for everybody to be part of the study.
Well, that's because the pandemic was so contagious. But understand this: that vaccine was not just developed in the few months that we heard about its development. They've been working on messenger RNA vaccines for years. So they had the basic transport system in place. All they had to do was tell it what to tell your body. So it was a lot easier this time. And I would expect sometime in August, they'll get permanent use for that.
And then that brings us to a different time. once that happens. And it's kind of similar to take this into another little step. They're letting people at the border come across the border, and they're just letting them in, but they don't know anything about them. But if you want people to come across the border, if they finish the wall, they could make it easier for people to come. You have to ask yourself, why is it so important for illegal immigrants to come across through the Mexican border, but anyone else wants to come? And I've experienced this. My wife is getting on her third degree, and we tried to get family from another country, and we tried to get family members just to come to her graduation, and they make it so extremely difficult. She's never had one of her family members at one of her graduations, but yet if you're down in South America, or you can make your way to Mexico, you can walk across the American border.
Here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. The immigration system is broken. And
sure.
Congress after Congress, president after president, with maybe the exception of Trump, did nothing. They talked about it, but they kicked the can down the road. Somewhere along the line, that can has to stop rolling. And there's nothing we can do to correct the immigration situation until we close the border. Because if you all of a sudden give citizenship, for example, to the millions of people that are here illegally, all you're doing is inviting a whole bunch of more people to come across the border and take advantage of it. You have to close the border before you do anything.
And it cost my wife quite a bit to get here, to go through the proper process, to know who she is and what she is about before she ever got here.
But she made it.
Flooded the border.
But she made it.
And she did. And, that's the whole crazy part with the border wall. And that's what just blows my mind is, you finish it. And if you want 10 million immigrants to come through a year, let them. Make it easy enough to do it. But at least we'll know who they are.
Yeah.
That is the big infatuation of not knowing who's crossing. And then with that being said, okay, you come into the border. Are they forcing them to take a shot? No, they're not. They're giving them a choice.
Right.
They're, are they even checking to see what they do or don't have?
I have to take a break, but I'll finish with this. Who's going to vote? If you make them citizens, they'll vote, and who they're going to vote for. Why do you think that border is a sieve, but Cubans can't come by water? Because they're going to vote the other way. So, yeah. All right.
And they're coming from a communist country.
Yeah.
That's the part that just makes no sense whatsoever.
Absolutely.
The ones we should be helping, we're not. And the ones that theoretically we don't need to help so much, and they're just letting them free flow.
All right, Jeff. Appreciate the call. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye now. Take a break. We'll be back with more. We'll also hear from Terry Henney in Munger after these notes.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is, in fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront Saginaw. This summer, support over 30 small businesses inside and our local farmers outside under our pavilion. Our favorites like Falafel Hut, Purple Sage Beach Store, and Honey's Tasty Potatoes. We welcome new businesses like House of Serene, Chris Made It, and coming soon, Yum Yum Cereal Bar. Family fun events like Family Fun Day, Riverfront Car Show, and Cosplay Anyone. Make sure to follow us on Facebook for all our family events. Summer is sizzling inside the SVRC Marketplace, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Need a rental space? Check out the Marketplace. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to
Shop local, eat local, and support small business. And we'll see you at the market.
For almost 20 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because the rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
Supporters of the Munger Potato Festival, Everbest Organics. Their operation has been around for a few years here, right next to the festival grounds, where the Munger Potato Festival will be held, the 66th annual Potato Festival, beginning tomorrow night and moving through activities going on. We'll be telling you all about it, especially as we move into the farm program today. That's the Munger Potato Festival, and also telling you quite a bit about what's going on here at Everbest Organics. What they do is they put the growers, technology, and the buyers together so that the growers of organic product here in Michigan get their product to some of the major food and restaurant suppliers here in the United States. It's quite an operation. A lot of folks really don't realize what Everbest is all about. Well, we'll tell you what they're all about and also invite you to the Munger Potato Festival coming up starting tomorrow evening.
All right, Terry, thanks. And don't forget, I'll be there on Saturday at the Munger Potato Festival. Ernie Krieger will be joining me at 9 o'clock. All of that coming up. Also, one other thing I want to talk about just for a second before we get back to our phones, and that is our fruit pie competition at the Saginaw County Fair. We've extended the deadline through tomorrow to get your fruit pie registered. All you have to do is go online to WSGW.com, scroll down till you see the fruit pie box, click on it, and tell us about the fruit pie you're going to bring to the fair. We'll look forward to that on opening day of the Saginaw County Fair, which I think is August 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be broadcasting out there. Anyway, let's get back to our phones. Charles is in Sebowing. Charles, good morning.
Good morning. Just a couple of brief comments here on the border situation. The gentleman that was on earlier was commenting on it. I would have a solution, but I don't see it ever forthcoming. If I were in charge, I would put the U.S. military on permanent bivouac across the entire southern border until such time that Congress acts on a permanent immigration solution, Chuck.
Interesting.
That's all I have.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. That's their job, to protect our borders. I mean, I like it. All right.
Yes, it is.
Good enough, Charles. Thanks. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Errol in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
Good morning. When you were up there for the potato festival, will you bring me back a vaccinated potato, please?
I'll have to find one.
One mistake. What I'm calling you about this morning is something off that topic. What is your definition of a service dog?
Well, there's a lot of definitions of a service dog because they can be multiple. They can be a seeing eye dog for the blind.
Okay.
They can be a dog that helps people with disabilities that don't move as well, and they can be an emotional support dog.
You and I agree. I ran into in two Walmarts that here are people in the store with their dogs sitting in the middle of their shopping cart. And I says to one of the managers, why are those dogs in here? They're not service dogs. because we can't ask them whether it's a service dog anymore. So they're allowed in. We've got all kinds of them coming in all the time now.
Well, I think that's wrong because the service dog should be identified, should have some kind of a harness or a bib on.
This woman had this like a pug sitting on a pillow in the middle of their shopping cart.
I'd call the health department.
Roaming all over the store.
I'd call the health department.
Believe me, I'm starting with you in case anyone else sees it going on. But I'm going to I'm going to put a stop to this thing.
And I love dogs. I love dogs, but I don't want one in my grocery store like that.
Yeah. Well, and the answer from the manager was to ask them whether it's a service dog or not. What a crock of manure that is. We don't have enough going on.
Well, they're afraid of losing a customer, So, all right.
Yeah, well, that's true. So,
good luck.
Nice day, sir.
You too. Bye-bye now. All right, let's talk to Delmar in Saginaw. Delmar, good morning.
All right, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I've said this many times. In order to solve the immigration problem, not just the Republicans, but the Democrats, both parties have to go more aggressively after the employers, and they don't. When I was down in Atlanta, Georgia, working in emergency room, we would bring in 20, 30 illegal immigrants into Southwest Hospital with nails in them, fingers cut off, concussions from falling off of roofs during the housing boom about 30 years ago when we had it in Atlanta. They just dump them off at the emergency room. We had to take care of them, had to treat them, and the emergency room broke the entire hospital. The hospital closed down. Yeah. It's called Southwest Hospital.
Well,
the problem is these employers go after these people. They can hire them for $3, $4, $5 an hour at the time to do framing.
Yeah, but that let's also
employers are making bigger bucks.
Yeah, but you can go after the employers. That's not going to stop the problem. No matter what you do, if you don't close the border, the problem will continue to exist. No matter how you do it.
If they didn't have jobs, they wouldn't. If they didn't have jobs, they wouldn't come here. If they came here and they were going to starve, I'm telling you, they wouldn't come here.
Well,
and when they had to apply for any kind of social programs, without a social security number or a birth certificate, they're being denied.
That's true to a point, but not enough to stop the whole thing. I think if employers,
out here in the Thumb. We had a farm out here in the Thumb. He had 160 employees at that huge dairy farm. All of them were illegal immigrants.
Did they catch him?
Yes, it was on the news here probably.
Well, there you go.
Years ago.
So they are doing it to a degree.
How many they're not catching? That's the problem.
Well, but that's true of everything, isn't it?
I was in business for 50 years, and only once, INS came in and wanted to go through all the employee records to see if they're born in the United States and they're a legal citizen. Only once in 50 years I was in business.
So I guess we have to be willing to pay for more INS, don't we? But
the problem is, what if you get rid of all these illegal immigrants? Are you willing to pay $5 a pound for chicken?
Well, that's the other side of the coin. We take some responsibility in that, don't we? Hey, I got to run because I'm out of time, but we'll talk more about it, Delmar. Thanks, appreciate it. And we will be back to close out after these notes.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to.
Is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, everybody. Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. In fact, over 1 million of refinancing or buying a new home with Rocket Mortgage. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase again, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. With an official mortgage review from Rocket Mortgage, you'll see just how much money you could save by making a move right now. Don't look back over these next few weeks and wish that you had taken action. You could save hundreds on your mortgage payments or pay off your home loan earlier than planned. You could even take cash out of your home to pay off high-interest debt, complete home repairs, or bulk up on an emergency fund. When you want to secure a low rate, Rocket can. Call 833-8-ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show today. One more reminder about the free COVID-19 vaccine, part of COVID-19 Vaccine Equity Initiative, the Saginaw County Health Department, partnering with the New Christ Community Church, offering free COVID-19 vaccines to anyone over 18, and there's free food, hot dogs, chips, and beverages. It's today from 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. New Christ Community Church, 3302 Grant Street in Saginaw. And you do not need an ID or insurance to get the vaccine. It is free to everyone. There you go. That'll do it for the show today. We'll move over to Focus and some special guests coming up on that. But before that, news from CBS, the national and international report. We'll have the local news to tell you what's happening in the Great Lakes Bay region and in the state of Michigan. And I'll be back right after the news with lots more on Focus. Talk to you then.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. New challenges for businesses and schools all over the country after the new COVID recommendations from the federal government. Masks outdoors indoors, that is, in many places, even for the vaccinated, and for teachers and students in class. Catherine Eterno is hoping her school district in Colorado will tell kids to mask up.
I completely understand parents who want this to just all go away, but it's not going to go away unless we make choices in order to make that happen.
Indianapolis restaurant owner Christina Mazza says she's okay with keeping things as they are. No mask requirement.
Going to change anything until I hear, more from the Marion County Health Department and the CDC.
CDC Director Rochelle Walensky tells CBS This Morning the moves are key to stopping the Delta variant.
We can halt the chain of transmission. We can do something if we unify together, if we get people vaccinated who are not yet vaccinated, if we mask in the interim. We can halt this in just a matter of a couple of weeks.
British officials say American travelers will be able to fly into English airports starting next week without going into quarantine. At the Summer Olympics, a star who's taken a step back is not ready to get back on the mats.
Simone Biles will not compete in tomorrow's prestigious all-around competition. In a statement, USA Gymnastics says Biles wants to focus on her mental health. Biles is receiving support from numerous other athletes, including the most successful Olympian ever, Michael Phelps, who has had mental health challenges of his own. Steve Futterman, CBS News at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo.
Court has rejected a bid for a new trial for Stephen Avery, a key figure in the Making a Murderer TV saga. He's serving a life sentence for the killing of a photographer. Deadly scene at a chemical plant in LaPorte, Texas, where there was an acid leak. The fire marshal is Lori Christensen.
We have 5 that are yellow, which means they're being treated here on scene. 2 that were red, 1 was life-flighted, and 1 was sent to the hospital via ambulance. And unfortunately, we have 2 that have passed away here on scene.
Most of the injured suffered burns. The governors of California and Nevada today touring the wildfire south of Lake Tahoe that's causing damage in both states. Cal Fire spokesman Kevin Colburn says cooler, wetter weather has been helping.
The fire is looking better. We are starting to gain containment. It's creeping up slowly. We haven't had as much growth as there had been in the prior days.
In Northern California, the largest of the state's fires continues to threaten thousands of homes. Well, down 39 points. NASDAQ is up 107. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
So, what do you think?
You nailed the custom cabinets.
And the countertop is perfect.
It makes the space.
I'm in love with my kitchen again.
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery showroom and design makes your dream spaces a reality with custom cabinetry and a variety of countertop options like Corian, granite, and quartz, offering both in-store and in-home personalized consultation. We're with you from inspiration to installation. Your dream space is just a phone call away. PremierKitchenandBathGallery.com.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added tax and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 73 degrees at 11:04. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Michigan State Police and Saginaw Major Case Unit detectives are investigating the shooting of another 4-year-old in the city of Saginaw. Police responded around 4:45 p.m. Monday afternoon to a reported shooting in the 1900 block of Avon Street. The investigation at home resulting in the 4-year-old boy suffering serious but non-life-threatening injuries. He was transported and treated at a local hospital where he remains in stable condition. No other injuries were reported, but a person of interest has been identified in the incident. Police ask anyone with information on the matter to contact the Major Case Unit at 989-759-1289 or to call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-422-JAIL. A parole absconder has been charged in the rape of a 12-year-old girl in Saginaw County. Police say 47-year-old Brian McGill, who was convicted in 1994 on several charges of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, sexually assaulted the girl in Saginaw and Saginaw Township 3 times over a period of 6 months between 2020 and 2021. McGill was sentenced to 30 to 60 years for his 1994 conviction, but was paroled last summer. Police say he jumped his parole June 29th. The investigation the girl informed a relative who contacted police. It was learned McGill is also a relative of the girl. Police arrested him Sunday. He's been arraigned on 3 charges of first-degree criminal sexual conduct with a person under the age of 13, a life offense, and has been denied bond. His next court date is August 4th. Delta College's new downtown Midlands Center is hosting an open house on August 7th. The grand opening celebration takes place from noon to 2 p.m. at the building at 419 East Ellsworth Street. Refreshments, including ice cream, giveaways, and other activities are planned, and guests will be invited to take self-guided tours through the 30,000 square foot building. Guests are also invited to meet staff and learn more about the 1- and 2-year programs offered at the center. In-person classes will be offered at the center this fall semester, which begins August 28th. Students can take business, health, science, and transfer courses in a variety. The event is free and open to the public. Free parking is available in the covered parking structure on East Ellsworth. For more information, visit delta.edu/Midland. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Did it go okay when your insurance agent sat down with you to review the coverage checklist for your farm so you wouldn't have to worry about uncovered areas? You have reviewed your coverages lately, right? If not, maybe your agency should be the Emil Rummel Agency. At the Emil Rummel Agency, it's our job to understand the various risks you face every day on your farm, and then provide you with the right insurance policy that is based on your needs. If your current insurance agent is not offering this kind of service, it's time you talked with the Emil Rummel Agency, because we listen and then we respond to what we hear. The Emil Rummel Agency is located in Frank. and in Saginaw, call us today at 800-572-0939. That's 800-572-0939. Or visit us on the web at rummelinsurance.com.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. More than a ton of marijuana has been seized by federal agents in Detroit. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says that about 2,500 pounds of pot was found Wednesday packed among pallets during an inspection of a tractor trailer at the Fort Street cargo facility southwest of downtown. The truck had entered Detroit from Canada via the Ambassador Bridge and was sent to a secondary inspection area at the facility. Its manifest listed aluminum caps as cargo. The agency says results of an X-ray scan were inconsistent with what the truck was listed as transporting. It's a victory for a man accused of failing to register under an older version of the state's sex offender registry. Here's Michigan News Network's Jim Matthews with this report.
The Michigan Supreme Court throwing out the conviction as it becomes the latest court to declare the 2011 law unconstitutional when applied retroactively to certain offenders. The Michigan legislature last year revised the law after two federal courts said the 2011 version was unconstitutional. But critics say the new edition isn't much better, as the new law lifts restrictions on convicted sex offenders living near schools and attending school events. But it still does require offenders to report personal information for years. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed the legislation into law despite opposition from the ACLU. Jim Matthews, Michigan News Network.
A man accused of killing two women in Pennsylvania has been charged with murder in the death of a pregnant Michigan woman. Ashley Parlier disappeared in 2005. Authorities say Harold Hallman III lived in the Battle Creek area when the 21-year-old missing. Sheriff Steve Hinkey says Hallman admitted to killing Parlier during interviews with his detectives. Investigators have not found the woman's remains despite searches in a wooded area. Hallman is in custody in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania. He is charged with killing Tiana Phillips of Berwick and Erica Schultz of Bloomsburg. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the northeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy sky conditions with a low near 67. Thursday, a chance for showers and storms, cloudy high of 82 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly sunny skies with a high around 73. Saturday, a chance for some rain showers, a blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high around 79 degrees. Mostly sunny, high of 73. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 74.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome to another edition of Focus. And we're going to focus on two organizations that have joined forces. We're going to find out what they're up about. And we're going to do that with a couple of guests who are in the studio this morning, and you can watch us on video. First of all, we say good morning to David Ferrante with Leaders for America. David, good morning to you.
Hello. Thank you for having us on for a second time. Our subject matter, I think, is not only important to us, but it's important to our community. So thank you.
You're welcome. Also with us, Mike Loomis with MDL, and we'll find out more about that company, but they've been working with Leaders in America. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Art.
Let's start with you. Give us an overview of MDL and what that company is.
Well, the MDL company started in '86. We're out of Bay City. We're downtown Bay City, and it's a real estate company. We have different divisions. We have an investment arm. We have a construction arm, an insurance restoration arm, property management, and realty.
And how did you partner up with David? And why did you partner up with David?
Well, David and I have been a part of some other organizations. I've been a part of this Leaders for America for a while, and we have some other faith-based aspects of it out in California. And so we've just taken ideas and thoughts as we've traveled and incorporated them into our company. And then we have hired David's organization to come in. He has an office with us, and we just, I guess, have doubled down on the concept. And
so let's talk about that concept, David.
Yeah.
What is it that Leaders in America do? What do you do, for example, MDL?
Well, two things. Number one, for the older echelon in the company, we're trying to move people to from producers to developers. We have to have a mindset that if our company is going to have longevity or legacy, they have a multi-generational concept to causing the young people to pick up the vision that the initial leaders had. The other part of that, of course, is that today's workforce is different than it used to be. There used to be a day where you had a business that had a company, you just thank them for giving you a job, and you'd work there maybe a long part of your life. And today that's changed. And so how do you both gather young leaders for your company, and how do you keep them? That's tools that we share and help create so that we can accomplish the mission of the company.
How does that work with people working from home these days?
Well, one of the challenges that you have is people are disconnected, and people don't stay for one company for a long time. And so what they do is about money. They're trying to find their purpose. They're trying to find how to add value to them. How do I have fun with my workday? It's amazing to me how many people today want the most amount of money, but they want to do the least amount of work. And so we're trying to figure out how to help them find purpose so that if they love what they do, it's not a job.
Let me put forth a notion that I've put forth many times on the show. I'm older than both of you. And when I grew up, and I tell this story, I graduated high school at a young age. I was 16. And I lived in New York City. And when I got home from my graduation, on the dining room table were my work papers that my father had arranged for and the address of the job that he had also gotten me.
Wow.
In other words, nothing for nothing. I contend that we do not teach work ethic like it used to be taught. Now, that's a big brush. I don't want to paint it on everyone, but what do you think of that?
Art, I want to promote the young people today. There are some real positives, but you have to go about it a different way. They can produce in ways that I never thought possible. Different way of thinking in how they do it.
So do you have to change your business to adapt to them?
The model has to change, and that's what we're doing together. We're creating those models. Young guys getting out of college today, it's some of it's about money. How much money am I going to get? But work ethic, as you mentioned, is something that's got to be deeper, that they're willing to put in the time. They're willing to start at a place where they can grow into it, because their expectations are, I want to make the most money and I want to start today. Yeah. This doesn't work.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We'll come back. We're talking with our guest this morning, David Ferranti from Leaders for America, and Mike Loomis with MDL. We will return after these notes on the Art Lewis Show. We'll also hear from Terry Henney.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural. Made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Knows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Pork chop, his coat is very thick. He's an Akita, German Shepherd, Lab, Husky mix. Harold, the Border Collie Pit mix, has the most beautiful. Stuart, my rat terrier, has fur now where he never had it before. DINOVITE.com. Dinovite will give them a beautiful, lustrous coat. It will make you smile.
You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
I'm one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I'm living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR positive, HER2 negative MBC. Is therapy. Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
All roads lead to the 66th annual Munger Potato Festival, and all the activity kicks off tomorrow night. We'll be crowning the queen at 7 o'clock. Demo Derby starts off at 7 o'clock, and of course, entertainment tent. Famous potato brats and tons of free potatoes. It's all a part of the Munger Potato Festival. We're broadcasting today from Everbest Organics. They handle certified organically grown grains and beans, and they take the product and pair it up with buyers in the food industry that use organic products for serving food as well as supplying servers of food with the products that they need. And once we move into the farm program in just a little bit, we'll be talking a lot more about Everbest Organics. But again, they are one of the major sponsors Potato Festival, and they invite each and every one of you to bring the kids, bring the family, and have a lot of fun in beautiful downtown Munger.
All right, Terry, we'll look for you on the Farm Show coming up right after Focus this morning. And we're talking to David Ferranti of Leaders for America and Mike Loomis with MDL, the real estate company. So, Mike, how has this changed MDL? What's it like if I walked into an MDL office today? What am I going to see that maybe I didn't see 10 years ago?
Well, first off, you're going to see a lot of young people. You're going to see music. Oh, actually, you're going to hear music. You're going to see TVs go. You see people breaking off and maybe wearing shorts, casual wear. They've got flex time coming in and out. We actually will go on boat rides to have meetings. We'll have longer lunches gathering together and coming back. There's not structure as you would think it would have been in the past. So those are some of the things you're going to see.
And of course, you know, those of us who have been around a long time, like I have, would say, boy, that's a lot of distractions. How are they getting any work done? You're shaking Art. Your head, David.
they like that, Art. They like multiple things going on, noise. It's a in today's world. They're texting, taking a phone call, maybe emailing somebody. That's the energy that they like.
So I have to ask this question. Has it shown in the bottom line? Do they produce more?
Well, let me address it, because part of it is with having a coach, having an office there, and having weekly meetings with them. We're holding them accountable to generosity and character and work ethic. We're having those discussions. So they like us providing kind of a looser environment where we believe in them rather than being a taskmaster, if you will. But so part of it is they need to know that we're investing in them and they produce more because we're investing.
And do they? That's the question. I mean, don't you have to, Mike, I have to ask you, don't you have to hold them accountable to the bottom line too?
One of the things that we've done is created profit sharing scenarios so they can see direct correlation to effort and their paycheck. So more and more we're doing that. We give little bonuses and profit sharing structures.
And these connections aren't just let's go have fun. One of Mike's sons went to another appointment to meet another leader in the community, and they built a relationship and a connection. And then there was major restoration insurance policy that came as a result of those connections. So it's not just they're taking longer lunches, they're being strategic. So on their lunches, they're actually producing.
So I have to ask this. Before you did this, your employees, I assume, were middle and older age, maybe. They were experienced at what they were doing. How have the older employees taken to this? Or are they slowly but surely being pushed out the door?
Can I mention that first, Mike? Well, for me, being from the outside looking in, this was something that, and we were in a board meeting, I don't know, last month, when several of the people in the meeting, the older guys, were saying, you know what, I want to move from producer to developer. I still have value, but maybe I'm not going to be on the roof. You want to take it from there?
Yeah, we need the older people, which I'm one of them, because of life experiences. And so we're taking the young people's creativity and their ability to look at things differently with life experiences and blending them together. So we see it as a positive. We don't see it as a negative, but they do go about things differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So how have they adapted to the new music and all of the other gadgets and goodies that are going on?
I think
inside
that they
the
have.
building?
They've not complained openly to me. I think they're okay as long as you're right, Art. As long as we see production and that there's value for the company by doing this. But you have to give the young people something bigger than just a paycheck today's world. They're not going to work 30 years for you and then retire and have fun. They have to see that they have matter in their life other than just a paycheck, and they'll produce. And they don't blame it on being young or have never done that before or none of those things are factors for them. And so we learn from them as well as they learn from us more seasoned veterans.
David, your service is available to other companies, Leaders for America?
Yeah, we're basically a coaching consulting, and as you know, my son Matt plays music for Brett Young, so we're also a concert promotion company, and so we use a lot of music within the coaching structure because we're getting people to build trust, build relationships. They don't have to go to work; they want to come to work, and it's spreading throughout Bay City right now.
Is there a website people can go to find more about it?
A news website is being built as we talk through a group called Hieroglyphics, but they can get a hold of me at dsfleadersforamerica@gmail.com.
And in terms of MDL, Mike, how do they get a hold of you?
mdlbay.com.
Simple. Hey, guys, this is fascinating. I want to learn more about it. We'll have to do this again down the road. I find, being an old goat like I am, I find I'm one who does not deny change, though. There are a lot of people who say, oh, I've done it this way forever and I'm not going to change. I don't believe in that. I believe that change is good, but I need to understand change, I guess is what I'm saying. So we'll have to do this again. Thanks for being with us, David. Mike, thank you much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Art.
You bet. Bye-bye now. Wow, what an interesting concept to attract young people, huh? All right, we're going to take our last break. Come back. We'll also find out what's happening in the marketplace from Baird & Company when we return.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the... Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing you can count on. The Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their hearts to Covenant Healthcare than any other area hospital. Why? Because we have the most comprehensive cardiac care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center to the region's first structural heart disease program to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 6 times running. So if you have an existing heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 or come to the Covenant Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. Trust yours to Covenant Healthcare, the leader for extraordinary care.
What's better than being outdoors and enjoying a summer day in Michigan? How about golfing at the Saginaw Country? You can do that at the Saginaw Promise Swinging for the Promise golf event on Thursday, August 19th. 18 holes of golf with a cart, grilled lunch at the turn, delicious dinner, trophies, prizes, and a lot of fun. Register online, SaginawPromise.org. Call 989-755-0545. Sponsorships available. Saginaw Promise, making a difference through post-secondary education and scholarships.
Did it go okay when your insurance agent sat down with you to review the coverage checklist for your farm, so you wouldn't have to worry about uncovered areas? You have reviewed your coverages lately, right? If not, maybe your agency should be the Emil Rummel Agency. Emil Rummel Agency, it's our job to understand the various risks you face every day on your farm, and then provide you with the right insurance policy that is based on your needs. If your current insurance agent is not offering this kind of service, it's time you talked with the Emil Rummel Agency. Because we listen, and then we respond to what we hear. The Emil Rummel Agency is located in Frankenmuth, Vassar, Cairo, and in Saginaw. Call us today at 800-572-0939. That's 800-572-0939. Or visit us on the web at rummelinsurance.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all.
That is a very, very difficult job. We will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for Focus. We thank our guests for being with us today. Time to move over to Baird & Company for our ticker tip of the day. And Steve Anderson. Good morning, Steve.
Well, good morning to you, sir.
How are the markets doing midweek?
Well, the markets today are mixed. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Averages down by 46 points, putting it at 35.5 on volume of 305 million shares. The Nasdaq is up 88, putting it at 14,748 on volume of 335 million shares.
And your ticker tip for this Wednesday?
For this Wednesday, one of the toughest things that people have to deal with and address nowadays is their health care. And it's been brought to a lot of people's attention even more with the pandemic. So, I'm going to highly recommend people are doing the review of their finances, of their other investments, of their life insurance policies. Don't forget to take a look at your health insurance. Many people still have employer-provided health care, but still you want to make certain that you understand exactly what's covered, where it's covered, why it's covered, and how it's covered, because you may find some gaps or something that might need to be filled in some other fashion. So just because you have something, necessarily mean it's perfect for you in your situation.
Yeah. How do they get a hold of you for some help?
Well, you call us right here at Baird, the number 790-5724, or you can find us on the web at rwbaird, that's BAIRD.com, and look for the Saginaw branch.
Have a great day. We'll talk to you down the road.
I will, and certainly we'll talk.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. Steve Anderson at Baird & Company with our ticker tip of the day. Terry Henny's Farm Show comes along after these notes.